I'm just going to decorate this little box shape with some gilding flake and some mica flakes. So I've got a nice little pink gold encrusted treasure box. So I'm just going to lay out some gilding flake. Again, I'm not going to huff or puff or sneeze or cough. And this is going to be an all over effect rather than stripes or a measured kind of design. And whilst it's tempting to try to put the mica flakes on at the same time, I always iron off in between different media because it's good to just look at the work and see what you need and where you need it. I don't need any decoration on here because this is the underneath of the box and this is the main lid of the box. So this needs the most decoration. So I'm just going to put a bit of gilding flake down to start with. I'm going to put the lid back on the gilding flake. And then I'm going to very carefully put the baking parchment down so it doesn't fly everywhere because I'd like it to stay where I've put it to a degree. You can't ever guarantee it. So again, a nice hot iron. That's activated the glue, and then the gilding flake is stuck more or less where I wanted it. And then I've got the little mica flakes, which I'm going to sprinkle on as well. Now, bearing in mind, I need to make sure that the mica flakes don't go on top of the gilding flake, because once the glue is covered up, it's not sticky anymore. And you will know that because you're an intelligent person, but it's amazing how you get carried away and you put loads of stuff on and then it falls off and you think, oh, it's not working. And then actually it's because you've say put the mica flake on top of the gilding flake like that. This isn't sticky anymore because it's gilding flake. So you just need to separate the mica flakes out a little bit because they get a little bit stuck together. So less is more with this. I would maybe go 2 or 3 times over this. I'm going to iron this off now and see what else needs filling in. I'm just going to put the lid back on again. I can't stress how important it is to put lids on because when these things go flying, it's a bit of a waste, although you can pick most of it up. I hate waste. So we've got a nice confetti effect. So we'll just iron that in place. So that's all stuck down. So I need to start to think about the shape of the box. That's going to, this is going to be the lid. That will just focus. There we go. And these are going to be the sides. So we could do with a bit of more decoration. If you are going to machine stitch over this or hand stitch over this, then this might be enough background. But of course, I think you can't have enough sparkle. So I'm going to add a bit more gilding flake. And then see what will stick and what won't. And I'm having a nice random time, which is unusual for me because normally my things are reasonably well styled. But sometimes it's just good to have a play. And who doesn't want to have a pink treasure chest, eh? There are lots of different box designs that you can get. There's a couple of really good books that you can photocopy. I will let you discover them because there's no point me doing it all for you. I want you to discover and learn. Right, that's probably, as my ex-boyfriend used to say, an elegant sufficiency, Kim. So a bit more baking parchment and then we'll see what's stuck. Again, very carefully because we've got unstuck gilding flake on here. And I would like most of it to stay on the box. So again, you don't need pressure. It's the heat that does the work. My table is now covered with gilding flake, as is my t-shirt. Lovely, you can't see that. So that's obviously not going to stick there because that's on the edge. So you can just give it a bit of a clean up. You will find that some of the gilding flake will pile up on itself. So just take off any surface that isn't sticking. So that's a reasonable random effect on here. I'm just going to, as I say, get the residue off. Just rub it lightly with my fingertips. And it gets any loose gilding flake off. Then what I'll do in a minute is just pop that back into the gilding flake box. Right, we've got a table covered in gilding flake. So we've got our little box. We just need to fold up the little flaps that are going to help it close. If you do use a die cutting machine, then it will also score where you need to fold, which is always handy. So I'm just going to, there we are. So we've got a little end here. We've still got some loose. So ordinarily, before I put it together, I would varnish this, use acrylic wax or something. But I just want to show you how to put your box together. And that will bend like that. I've used the Decaville one because it's quite firm. This just all needs folding in properly. So this is a little pink casket, which is quite fun. I'm not going to stick it together properly yet because I need to seal it, but you get the idea. I can just stop everything from flaring on it because I use so much metallic. I find this little envelope type bag really useful. It's great for putting little gifts in, a special card that you've made. You'll find all kinds of reasons to use them. I tend to use Decaville Light with these ones because it's lighter, it's thinner. This pattern is very, very simple. You just have 4 score lines. Again, I do use a die cutting machine because I'm not very good at cutting curves. So you know how neat and tidy you are. So this is basically, let's get that little shiny one out of the way. I would cut the shape first and then I would decorate it. As you can see, it's been painted blue. Then I've transfer filled the lines. Then I stuck down some paper. And then I've just used a little blue printing block, which you can just about see. Can you see this print here? It just breaks up the paper. I didn't want to stitch this because I just wanted to knock the paper back a bit. And I didn't really want a shouty printing block on there. So I used the same colour paint that I used to paint the Decaville with, which kind of sounds weird, but I quite like the way designs bleed in and out, so that you kind of look and then look again at a piece of work. So this would then be popped together like this, and you could use a little bit of Velcro or a glue dot or even stitch your little envelope in place. Then you can have that there or tuck it in, and then you've got a pretty little envelope and a great little present to give somebody. Just a little bit more about working with Decaville with transfer foils. As I say, there are a lot more cutting machines available now. I don't have an electric cutting machine, but I do have a friend who has a laser cutter. But you need to be quite careful how you use your laser cutter or your cutting machine. I would imagine a cutting machine will do the same thing because you can vary the depth of the cut. So this piece of Decaville is kind of a plum colour paint. This is the Decaville one. This is the heavier one because it's easier to start with. This has just been foiled with gold all over. My friend worked out which level the laser needed to be to just take off the surface of the foil without going through the Decaville. So it literally just engraves the foil. So you get the most incredible effect. And because this is on the Decaville one, it would stand up and you can start to make vessels. But as I say, I do love shine, and it's particularly lovely when you can develop new ways of working with an interfacing. So this is Decaville 1 Light. This is the thinner one. And you can see that we've foiled and then engraved away the foil to create that negative space there. So, and I've got a little bit of Velcro on there to hold it together. So there are lots of ways. So do experiment. Don't just do what I show you. If you have a cutting machine, have a play, have an experiment, but not on a huge piece. Because Decaville is not the cheapest, but it's one of the best things to work with. Well, it's good to copy what I do and what I show you. Then it's good for you to take it further and see what you can do and how you can develop these ideas. This is just the beginning, because this product is so useful and so good for small 3D pieces. The world really is your lobster. I like lobsters because they're bigger than oysters. So see what you can do.